Ladies, how y'all doing? I want to say this to y'all. This is very important. There's this myth going around amongst the black community with black women. I commonly hear this saying, I could raise my son, um, I can raise him, but I can't teach him to be a man. That is a myth. And I'm gonna say that with pure conviction. That is a myth, it's a lie, and it's a fucking lie. Excuse my French. Because my mother raised me and my grandmother raised me. I was raised by two women to be a man. By two women. I didn't have a father. So we gonna clear this myth up right now. Um, the thing about raising boys is about limitations. It's what you decide you're gonna teach your son. See, let me tell you this shit. How I was raised to be a man. I'm gonna give y'all some hard facts. My mother taught me about eating pussy, about women sucking dick, about the street life, drug selling. My mother taught me about education. The first one to teach me how to read a book, how to count. My mother was the first one to teach me how to cook a fucking hamburger. It was my mother. My mother was the first one to teach me how to make up a bed and clean my room. It was my mother. My mother was the first one to teach me how to comb my hair. All that shit. It was my mother that taught me how to wipe my dick off after I pissed. I was 7 years old, and my mother said to me, Troy, take that tissue and wipe yourself off after you pee and stop shaking your dick all over the toilet. So, see, it's about limitations. It's what you decide you're going to teach your child. If you decide you don't want to talk to your son about sex because you don't want to discuss that, then that's on you. My mother taught me all about sex. She taught me how to put a fucking condom on. I was 11 years old. My mother taught me how to put a condom on. My mother taught me about eating pussy. When I tell you everything, my mother took me to a drug block when I was a kid to show me how dope fiends lean on the corner. This is what my mother taught me. My mother said to me just like this. I was 10 years old. My mother said, Troy, you see that man on the corner leaning down like that? You want to be like that when you get older? If you don't do the right thing and finish school, you're going to be just like that motherfucker. I'm going to tell you that right now. See, I'm saying all this shit to you because a lot of y'all as mothers don't have half of these conversations with y'all sons. Y'all refuse to have these conversations with them because y'all feel that as a woman, it's not your place to be telling your son that. And I beg to differ because I teach my son all of that right now. I talk to him about eating pussy, girls going sucking dick, putting on condoms, street life, niggas hustling, getting money, how niggas got killed, what to say, what not to say. I give my son the entire game of life. I don't sugarcoat shit. It was my mother that taught me how to hold a girl's hand. It was my mother that taught me how to carry a girl's books after school. It was my mother that told me how to look for a clean girl and what to look for, how a girl should carry herself. One of the first things my mother ever said to me about looking for a girl, she said, Troy, if this girl's if you get a girlfriend and her dresser don't look like mine and her bathroom ain't like mine and she don't keep a clean home like mine, then you don't fuck with her. Cause she's a nasty bitch and she ain't no good. See, that's how my mother gave the game up. She ain't sugarcoat nothing. If anybody know my mother Brenda, they gonna like this video 5,000 times. And I'm telling you the facts right now. See, the difference was when I came out, when I finally got on the streets, my mother put me out at 13 years old because I came in late past my curfew. That's how strict my mother was. She put me out. And I never went back home from 13 years old to my age right now. And when I seen my mother before my 18th birthday, right before she died. My mother died on Christmas Eve. And my mother said to me just like this. She'll come out her grave right now. She said, Troy, I knew you was going to be all right. They all was worried about you. They was calling me, telling me, oh, you got to get that boy. He out there by himself. She said, nah, Troy fine. Trust me. Troy is fine. And my mother was 100% correct. I slept on the train for one night. One night from 135th all the way to fucking Flatbush, Brooklyn, and back all the way to 241st. And after I came out that train station, I said, yo, I'm gonna make it out here. I said, fuck this, I'm gonna make it. One way or another. And all my friends were living at home while I was on the streets on my own, making it. And half them niggas couldn't even, they didn't know how to dress theyself. They was 17, 18 years old, still ain't know how to dress theyself. When my man came to live with me, that nigga was taking shower. He was washing up in the fucking sink. I had to tell him, yo, B, get in the shower. I was teaching him how to groom himself, man. And he was a year older than me. And that's what I'm saying. All of this is the testament of my mother and a woman, and what the limitations you will go through to teach your males, man. If you decide, yo, I don't want to talk to him about this and that and this, then of course you have limitations. So then, no, you can't raise him to be a man. And that's another thing. It was my mother that taught me how to fight. It was my mother. Literally, that's what I'm telling you. If you know my mother, you're gonna know what I'm saying is facts. It was my mother that told me, Troy, you better not never come up here crying. Because if you come up here crying about somebody putting their hands on you, I'm going to whoop your fucking ass. And I was so scared of my mother that I used to be in that park fighting like a motherfucker every day. It was my mother, man. It was my mother that taught me right from wrong. There is this myth going around that a woman cannot raise a man to be a man. That is a lie. It's a lie 10,000 times over. And that's a fact, man. Look at Ray Charles' mother, if you think I'm lying. Ray Charles' mother sat him down when he was blind. She said the world ain't gonna give you shit, man. You on your own. Don't trust nobody. She gave him the game, and he took it right with him through life. It's about limits of what you're going to talk about with your child. Y'all mothers need to understand this. If you put limitations on what you're going to say to your son, then your son is going to be limited in life when he walk out into the world. The advantage I always had over all my friends is I knew how to survive way before they did, man. A lot of them still at home. I see niggas every day from the Bronx, Harlem I grew up with. They still living with their mothers, their grandma, somebody, man. They still at home. They still don't know how to survive. And this shit comes from what we're being taught, man. What we being taught. The hardcore facts is at least 80% of young black males in America is growing up without a father. It's the mothers. So the responsibility is on you to teach your son how to respect a woman. If y'all teach your kids your sons not to have respect for women, what you think he gonna do? What do you think he gonna do? If you praise him for being a cute dude, oh, he's so fine in this, and then if a girl knock on your door and say she pregnant, and you say, oh, my son you ain't the father, like you act like you was in there fucking, my son ain't the father, like you was in the room while they was fucking. See, when you do all this shit, you raising them not to be a man. You raising them to be a fucking weak coward. This is the point. See, it was my mother that taught me. She said, Troy, this was my mother's exact words when I was 12 fucking years old. She said, let me tell you something about little girls. They could be fast and they could be manipulative. And she said, I'm going to tell you this much. If some little girl knock on my door, because all these little girls calling the house phone, if one of them knock on my door and say they pregnant, your ass is through. Your life is over. Because you're going to be a father and you're going to take care of your responsibilities. I don't want to hear shit about mom, she slept with this one and that one and this one. Because my mother said, I taught you how to wear condoms. So I don't want to hear shit if you get trapped off with the wrong girl. It was my mother that taught me this. My mother. So this video, man, listen. This is for y'all women, man. Stop saying a woman can't raise a man to be a man. That is a lie. I was on Rikers Island at 15 years old knocking grown-ass men out. You can ask anybody that grew up with me. They will tell you. 15 years old, I was knocking grown men out on Rikers Island. My mother, man, she raised me this way. Not to take no shit, stand up, be a man, don't run away from my responsibilities, take care of my family. It was my mother, man. Her and my grandmother. I ain't have no father. I never knew my real father in my life, never seen them. I heard that motherfucker died. I was trying to find a gravesite so I could piss on the shit. I'm telling you the truth. So please stop saying that a woman can't raise a boy to be a man. That is the biggest myth, and it's a lie, man. And it gotta stop being told in our community. This is about what you're willing to share with your boy. A lot of times mothers don't want to talk about sucking dick because they don't want their son, I can't have Malik knowing that I suck dick. Duh. He need for you to teach him, talk to him about it before he get caught up with that. And then y'all get mad when he knock up some little fast chick that's wild and rowdy, and y'all, oh God, I don't like her. She a little bummed out. Why? Because you the one raised his ass. He ain't know how to pick out a good woman. He ain't know none of that shit. I'm not trying to be funny. That's why I got the son mother I got. And she got the baby father, she got the son father that she has, which is me. And a lot of y'all got total opposite. And so I'm telling you now, and I mean no disrespect when I said that. Yo, pay attention. Teach your sons everything. Not half the game, all the fucking game. All of the game. From drug selling, my mother taught me everything about weed, coke, all that shit, man. Y'all don't even understand, man, the talks my mother was having with me when I was fucking 10, 11 years old. And y'all think this shit is not made up, man. That's why when she put me out when I came home from the rooftop, from the skating ring, man, I know how to take care of myself. I literally knew how to take care of myself. All my friends were still at home. Not saying that it was right for me to be out on the street, but half of them couldn't survive. They couldn't survive if they would have put all of us out on the street at 13 years old. Half of them niggas would have been back at the door, knocking on the door, banging after 24 hours of being on the street because they wasn't taught how to survive. This is what I'm saying. When you raising your kids, boys and girls, there should not be no limitations on how you raise your child. You're supposed to give them the game of life. You give them every fucking thing you was taught, they should be taught.